Hello everyone, and welcome to News and Views for February the 6th, 2025. Actually had quite a week for news in town. First of all, we had Dan Mazier come down to our offices last Friday to do a presentation to Ken and Chris Waddell. Earlier this year, he had spoken about them and during question period in Parliament, and they received a plaque of recognition for their work with News in Canada local journalism. So congratulations to them, and thanks for Dan for stopping by. While he was here, he did give us a quick interview on a few things going on in the country right now, in the constituency right now. So we have some comments on the Liberal leadership race and also the possibility of tariffs coming in. That, of course, has been in flux for the last few weeks. Then we were down to the town office this week. They had a special open house for Project 320 Phase 1. Project 320 is the 320 acres that the town purchased last year. Phase 1 is the first 58 acres, which has now has a preliminary design as a residential area. So they showed that off at the town office this week to get response from the public. This is a preliminary design. This is not the final design. They don't expect those lots to come available for at least 12 to 18 months. But we got to see that, and we also got a quick interview with Mayor Brian Headley, CAO Colleen Sinchishin, and Manager of Operations Denise Kay about the new subdivision. And then finally, we have hockey highlights back on the show today. I know they've been missing the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you've been missing them. This is from the January 21st game versus Winkler. Hope you enjoyed that one. And we certainly had quite the hockey season here for the Titans this year. We are having just a wonderful time with it. So if you have anything going on in town, any news items you want us to know about, please get in touch with us anytime. You can reach us at 204-476-2639 or by email nactv@wcgwave.ca. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Look at Owen. I don't know.
Tough work, but it has to.
Ken and Christine, congratulations. So this was part of just before question period every day. We have a session, 15-minute session that we have member statements. So you have 1 minute to pay tribute to someone inside your riding or have a different member statement. So on my day that was my turn, I decided to honor Ken and Christine Waddell for all they've done for their community, but also what they've done for the newspaper industry and the news industry in general. Unbelievable record of, record on how you've done things. 57 years ago, they began publishing a career together at the University of Manitoba. I actually, one of the benefit of doing these two, you learn a lot about people when you're doing the research on them.
Uh-oh.
So then it includes 35 years at the Neepawa Banner and Press, right? 32 years with the Rivers Banner, and as this year, new owners, they're expanding again at this age, going on to the Verdun Empire, I guess it is called, right? In advance.
Right.
So congratulations. This, as a result, now this will be put into the journals of Library of Parliament, and it'll be part of the history of Canada too. So congratulations, and thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thank
what you do.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate all you do.
There you go.
Something a little more densified, and then this and this could be a partner.
Okay, so we had the open house for Project 320 today, and we were very pleased with the turnout that came along. A lot of great comments. A lot of people were excited about the direction that the town was going with this, and certainly, you know, for the next number of years, we've been struggling with housing for the last number of years, and as we move forward, this is phase 1. We're hoping to see many phases in the future. Probably Daniil won't want to see that as much, because along with it's a lot of work. But I'm going to let Colleen and Denis talk about the details of the project. But all I can say is that we've got an excited community.
Sure. So we're looking at phase 1 of the project. What does phase 1 incorporate?
Phase 1 is 58 acres of the 320 that we purchased last year to put into development. Phase 1 is all a mixed use of residential because that's our main goal. Having done a housing study last year, we're basically, the information we were given and the science behind it says we're going to be short 460 houses by the year 2028. But we all know we're short several now, so that's kind of extrapolated across our growth up into that time period and giving us something to work towards and achieve. So by doing this phase 1 of subdivision, we're going to whack a lot of those off basically and hopefully get out of the gate and get some of them with some builds on them by 2026, whether it's late 2026. That's our goal. We don't know if we can hit it, but having done the CN subdivision for 40 acres a few years back, everybody's familiar with that. We learned a lot. We learned how to take a lot of time off of the timeline for a subdivision. And in the end, I got to be honest, it's going to be about the money and affordability. But we're prepared, and council's prepared to go to debenture. Our debenture load is fairly reasonable and low right now, with the last two that we have actually expiring in 2029 and 30. So that gives a little more breathing room. And we're going to do what we need to do to make this happen, basically.
So this is just sort of a proposed subdivision right now. What is the process that takes place from this point until it is going to be available to the public?
So over the last week or two, office staff have been meeting with developers to get really good feedback on the concept that was shown tonight, because we don't know if we got it right. We don't know if the lot widths are right. We don't know what people want to build. So we listened to all of that, and there were more that came tonight. Listening to the public to see what they'd like to see. Is there some of interest out there? Did we do a good thing? Did we get it right? Are we close? So if there's very minor tweaks, is one thing. Hopefully council can sit tonight and talk about all what they heard tonight at the open house, and we can maybe do those tweaks to the concept plan. Once we say this is the final plan, I will be submitting a subdivision application, and I will be moving forward with the zoning for that area so that we can get those off the plate. Denise, in the meantime, maybe can speak to things we've been already working on for months now, knowing we were trying to get this months knocked off of the subdivision process, and we're hoping we can nail this one down in a relatively shorter time than it took for the CM subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so overall feedback tonight was really was pleasing to hear that everyone was satisfied. Some minor tweaks, nothing that's too major. So I think the general layout of the streets will remain the same. We may do some tweaking on the lot widths. As far as conformity to like public spaces, is there enough retention water area, stuff like that. That'll kind of be sorted out once we do our drainage study, and then once we send these other items out for approvals. So we'll determine those factors. Again, we'll hear more from MI if they have any concerns about our accesses to the PTH 16 or Highway 5, either of those. But as far as doing some legwork, we've already done some historical branch research on the site to ensure that it conforms. Like I said, the drainage study will be started shortly. The infrastructure engineering for the water, the sewer, the storm sewer, those have all been started. So we'll be in touch with Hydro shortly. We have already given them the heads up, but I think we'll follow suit with more of a street design so that they are aware of what our timelines are, so that they can start designing all of their infrastructure for our project. I said, there's other local branches that we'll be reaching out to just as heads up, so they Canada Post to ensure that they have enough postal areas for all these new residents. What else am I missing in here?
Well, I'm just thinking the normal process would involve community and regional planning,
Yeah.
coming back and saying your subdivision is approved subject to conditions.
Yeah.
Conditions being the drainage plan, the traffic study, the historical resources analysis, all the things. We're not waiting to be told that, because we know we're going to be told that. We've reached out to all of the entities that are going to work with us, and we started that work last fall. So
Right.
that's the key. We're out of the gate. We're trying to keep
You knew this was coming.
we're trying to keep the balls
yeah.
in the air, and hopefully nobody's leaving or retiring or gets sick or run over by a bus.
Like, those are all the requirements. There's no sense waiting to be told to do them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, when you move on to phase 2, whenever that happens, you will already have done a lot of these things for that area.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, the lift station, for example,
Yeah.
that's going to service the Project 320 in entirety, basically.
Because this phase 1 is, I think you said 58 acres, right? Which is like,
Correct.
a sixth of what you've got essentially.
Yeah. We'll probably reach out to our active transportation consultants that we've worked with in the past to see if they have any comment on how to make the, again, public flow better through this subdivision. Other than that, we've kind of already reached out to a lot of our consultants already and how we want to see stuff work.
What's on your mind right now? What do you think we need to know about right now?
So one of the things that I guess I'm very aware of is that what's going on in the leadership race and what people are saying right now. Those leadership contenders are saying right now, that's not being reported by the media anywhere, especially out west here. Mm-hmm. It is quite startling, and part of our I guess strategy is make sure that you people that are aware out here, especially in the riding. So if you're watching my Facebook page, my social media pages, we are posting stuff on what these guys are saying, and I guess it looks like it's a Kearney Freeland kind of race, but and even then it seems to be tipped towards Kearney. But I mean, here we are, all of a sudden we're commenting on some Liberal Party kind of wannabes. They're going to want to be prime ministers that aren't really duly elected, and it's just a bunch of Liberal insiders talking to each other. Which is and what that does to our country is we have no leadership right now.
Yeah.
Trudeau kind of put us in this predicament of purgatory for leadership. He's going to kind of step by. Oh, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to fill up the Senate too with my Liberal friends just before I take off. I mean, is it a function of the Prime Minister? Yes, but he's not the Prime Minister. He's stepped down, and I think Canadians should be outraged.
You can't have it both ways.
Right. Right.
What about some of the things that some of the candidates have been saying out there? Everybody's been focusing on what they've been saying about the carbon tax, the carbon rebate, and all those things,
Mm-hmm.
like sort of stepping back from what the Liberal Party had been representing. Like, what is your take about all these promises they're making right now about alterations, changes? That as an example.
They were the people that set it all up. Mm-hmm. Mark Carney was the person, the architect of the carbon tax. He went around the world and said, "Here, you have to set up a carbon tax." They hired an ambassador, climate change ambassador, and put her in Sweden. We actually interviewed her in committee. I've got some really good clips on that on my social media page on Facebook. It is absurd what they're saying. They're just completely flip-flopping, and they expect Canadians to believe them. Now, it just came out here in the last couple of days, he's announced, I'm going to have a shadow carbon tax. Like, I don't think the consumer should have it, but we're going to have a shadow. That just means he's going to put it on and going to lay it on somewhere else so you don't see it. That figures that's going to fix the climate change. So I guess I've just seen, especially in the last couple of years, in being on the Environment Committee, I have seen what he's done to our economy. Mm-hmm. And I've seen what he's done to how they stand behind that carbon tax. And that's him and Guilbeault standing side by side with Trudeau. There is no bones about that.
So it's a case of he wants to paint himself as a alternative to Trudeau and his policies, even though he was very much a part of...
And he still thinks that the best idea is to tax Canadians on this, to make energy unaffordable. That is the whole mission, so you'll use less.
Yeah.
The number one issue still for Canadians is affordability. I talk to everybody every day, and it is amazing. It has everyone concerned. It doesn't matter where your income scale is. You do worry about how much the gas is going to go up, and it's swinging around all over the place now for whatever reason. One day it's 133, next day it's 155, and you don't know from gas station to gas station. That's one thing I'm really noticing here now. Never mind about your groceries. The grocery stores of course, there's another carbon tax coming up in April 1st. Mm-hmm. They say there was one candidate saying that we're going to leave locked in. They're saying we're going to get rid of it. They can't get rid of it until there's an election. Like, they're not going to remove it.
Everybody's saying it's two-person race. What do you think is coming out of it? Who do you think is coming out of it right now? From what you've seen, from what they've said, and from the response of delegates for the Liberal Party, what do you think is going to...
I don't care. Like, I think that just the Liberal policies are just not good for Canadians. We need election. Mm-hmm. Whoever they pick. That's up to the Liberal Party. That's up to the Liberal membership. Let them decide who it is, but at the end of the day, we need election.
What are your thoughts on the incoming tariffs from the U.S.?
Well, we just learned today there was back and forth. There was not till March 1st, and now no, they're coming on tomorrow, and it was misrepresented by a news company. Someone grabbed the wrong headline and said, "Oh, look at not till March 1st." Then the White House actually had to turn around and confirm that no, they're coming on tomorrow. So it will be damaging. I think there is. I mean, as far as the leadership and who's best to handle this, I by far. Conservatives are. We have, we need to stand up for Canada, and this, oh well, you hit me, so I'm going to hit you back type of attitude. With what about the Canadian people? What are we doing to supporting? Maybe there's ideas inside of Canada that we can be more prosperous. What do those look like?
What kind of hit do you think that our constituency here is going to take?
It's going to be a mixed bag, because if you look at a business that mostly exports to the U.S. Like I know Ritz Industries in Dauphin, they deal with Polaris. They make all the tubings up for the ATVs and that. I don't know what their exchange back and forth. I have reached out to the different industries inside of the riding just to see where that kind of what is the impact. It's a lot. I think the more the impact for the riding here. Well, in grain, if anything going down in the United States. Whether they do put a tariff on grain, that'll have a major impact. When we got a few things going for us, our dollar is actually sinking, so our natural advantage it's going to get absorbed. I don't think there's been some extremes being called like, oh, this is another COVID coming on. It's not going to be that kind of harsh. I think it's just like any other trade issues that come up, right? The market adjusts and figures out what they have to do, and I think that'll be. But the government has to take that lead, and right now, obviously, more taxes don't make any more sense. Standing in the way, trying to make people trip up, and businesses, offering no base for them to work from is not helping at all.
Are we in a really weakened state to navigate this right now with the sort of upheaval going on in Ottawa?
Oh, for sure. Like the Liberal leadership, like throwing this in, the best thing he could have done is put us in an election so he had a strong mandate. Either way. Right now we have no mandate. You have a bunch of ministers running down there that have no mandate from the Canadian people. Everybody's given up on them, even their leader. Like you think about that for a minute, right? It's like having a hockey team going out without their coach and saying, "Well, here we got an interim coach, but he's not going to show up. He's going to go take off somewhere, and he's going to kind of have to do his job. And then you go play the game." Like it doesn't work. And you do that with a nation. Like there's no one to look for. So you have the provinces going out trying to make their own deals and with their own interests, and a totally different interest. Like Ontario. They're rightfully so very concerned. Auto industry is very integrated back and forth. Oil and gas, it's more one way. Grain, more one way. Like they don't import a whole bunch of grain, but we export more grain than they import, right? So and they need it, but they need our energy more than anything, and our minerals. So I think that is the kind of the biggest loss for the Canadian people right now is this: we're leaderless.
When Parliament resumes after the parole period, I'm anticipating that it won't last very long. It's a matter of 2 or 3 days. But Jagmeet Singh has said that he wants to see what the government proposes in terms of a compensation package for Canadians, and he seemed to be relating it to the things that were done during COVID. Obviously that's not going to develop overnight, so what's he talking about there in terms of a package? Because there is no package, there's no planning for it. They don't know how big the tariffs are going to be. So I don't know how he can come up with a package overnight that the government might put forward that he would support.
Yeah, so he's done 2 different press conferences in 2 days. He's backpedaled basically on the second one and set the record more straight. He's kind of boxed in Trudeau. He said, well, if you come back, call Parliament back and call all the parties back together,
yes,
then we'll talk. But until you do that, all hands on. Like, forget it. You're not that serious, and we're gonna at the earliest opportunity, and when we come back, we're gonna shut you down.
So if the new leader is not a current member of parliament, they can't sit as prime minister then, right?
That is an issue. I don't know I think Andrew Scheer did a really good job on explaining that.
Okay.
I'll
have to look that up.
But I don't think so. I don't like how he can't get security clearances. He hasn't been elected by anybody. Just because you're voted in by your party as being a leader.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not an elected official, like, where's that all?
Good evening and welcome to Neepawa Titans hockey here at the Yellowhead Arena in Neepawa, Manitoba. Tonight they will be hosting the Winkler Flyers. Titans Cahoot tries to advance the puck, gets dumped back into the Titan zone. First on it is McKee. That's broken up by McDonald. Crake for the Flyers. Flyers try to keep it in, can't. Now Titans into the Flyer zone. Shot, and they score!
What a turn of events. Winkler Flyers get it into the Neepawa zone, and 10 seconds later, goal for Neepawa.
Tim Tyconic with the goal just 23 seconds in. I think that's the fastest goal I've seen for the Titans this season, at home anyway. Face off to the left of Cookett. Flyers win it back. McKee keeps it in. Another shot right in. Another shot. Now it goes over the net. Still in Titan zone. Flyers behind the Titans net, trying to come right back out in front. Battle right in front. Cookett couldn't get on it. Now in the high slot. Now it's taken away by Clark. Coming right in. Shot, and he scores!
A scramble in front of the net. Casey Cookett keeping it out. Led to a miss play, a broken pass, and down the ice. 2 for 2 for the Titans.
Now just 2 minutes, 48 seconds in. Titans have a 2-0 lead. Flyers control in the neutral zone. Dumped in, but Titans try to clear. That's sent behind the net. Trying to go out front was Thomas. He's tied up. Now along the sideboards, comes out to the high slot. Now a shot right in. Point blank, another save by Cookett. And thought it was kind of early for fighting, but these two teams did play each other not that long ago. Sent to an open corner, and Flyers try to get it out. Blocked, but now they'll clear the zone, gain the red line, dump it all the way around. Now coming right in, two Flyers right in on goal, and Cookett covers it up. Into the corner. Loose for Morton. Tries to get it up high. No, now right in on Cookett. Oh, he doesn't have it. Now it comes right loose behind the Titans net, and Hartley will get it out and up ice, racing for it. Paquette along with Kasprick, shot right in, and Ekblad slides over to make the save.
Casey Cookett thought he had it, thought he went down with it, but it ended up behind his right skate. His right skate. And when he went down to the side, it was not there.
Out into the neutral zone, out for Legarden. Shot saved by Cookett. Kept in by the Flyers. Titans coming the other way. Clark coming right in. Shot, and he scores!
Did a little tap on Ekblad's pad and decided to take it all the way to the back of the net.
So that's Jack Clark's second goal of the game. And it's 3-0 for the Titans. Kasprick on for McDonald. Into the Flyer zone, leaves it for Clark, turned over. Crake going back the other way. Titans looking to get back, shot right, and they score.
3-1, 9 seconds left in the penalty. 9 minutes, 41 seconds left in the period.
A bad turnover, and Flyers had some open ice going the other way. Shot blocked, and sent out by the Titans. And right back in is Gudmundsson. Goes across ice. Shot doesn't get through. Flyers still controlling the Titan zone. 20 seconds remaining. Shot, and they score.
Titans just couldn't get a chance to clear. Defense did a good job, but just wasn't enough.
Dumped into the Titan zone. Race for it. Cahoot is there first. On for Dawson McCann. Turned over. Coming right in. And a save by Cookett.
And Casey takes it away. Broken pass, and Casey's there to save the day.
Paquette against Carlone for the face-off. One back by the Flyers. Shot right in. Oh, and they score.
And it's a tie game, 10 minutes, 32 left.
And we are going to overtime.
Woo-wee!
Titans controlling in their own zone. Evades the Flyers. Knox coming up ice. Across for Hagerty. He can't quite get it. Now coming up, out save by Ekblad. Knox is on it. On for Tyconic. Tyconic coming right in. Shot over the net. Coming back the other way. Gower on for Hagerty. That's deflected. The Flyers coming back the other way. Carlone comes in. Saved by Cookett. Flyers still with control. Coming right in. Another save, and Cookett's got it. Peters with the puck in the Titan zone. Hands it off. Then that comes back the other way. Ekblad sends it back down the ice. Titans Weisgarber with control. Behind his own net. Being watched by Beauchemin. Along with Hartley and Knox. Pass comes up for Knox. Over to Hartley. Saved by Ekblad. And Flyers coming back the other way. 2-on-1. Shot. Saved by Cookett.
Woo!
One back by the Flyers. Flyers with control. Trying to come right out in front. Taken over by the Titans. On for Dawson McCann. Shot, and he scores!
And it's over. The Titans win against the Winkler Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Top shelf hit the red bar. It's a beautiful game.